Hey everyone, welcome back to the Penn-Reading Industrial Division, and in this quick video I'm giving you an update on what we've been working on. It's been about another month since, I would say maybe a month and a half since the introduction video, and we have been working really hard on getting this layout running. And now we have just two wires that are pretty much running the outside main line at the moment. And you can see here I have an H10 with a nice manifest that is running currently on the layout. And right now, as it stands, we do have both the main lines completed as far as laying the track down, and so that is a very monumentous achievement. Didn't think I'll be here at this time, and for the month of August it's really somber for me because Darius passed away in last August, and so to have this up and running within a year of his passing, it's really remarkable, and to me it seems like it was meant to be for sure. So that's what we've been working on here. And the next thing we're working on, as you can see, we started the curves on the branch line for the Reading Railroad, and we installed the turntable. Johnny did a great job at installing that turntable and cutting the hole for the table itself. I have to go underneath the layout and just brace up that one piece of foam to make it nice and flush. Other than that, it'll be ready to go for wiring and then off to building the roundhouse. The town of Vine Street, whatever the town is going to be, but the area of Vine Street is coming along really nicely. I'm going to go and move up or zoom up just a little bit so you can see some of the progress. As you can see, my backdrops are finally being installed. My niece and I worked really hard on creating these trees, actually sprucing up the old trees that Darius and I made way back in the day. And she is a phenomenal artist and she does fantastic work, and so she did a great job of creating these trees and redoing the trees here, as you can see. And there's a lot more that need to be done. This hole here is going to be cut out. A good friend of mine, he is a great artist himself, and he thought a phenomenal idea. The other side you have Emma cement, and that building is hollow. And so what we're going to do is cut out where it's black over here, and we're going to create another facility for the locomotives to be fixed or something. So the tracks will go inside. So I'm adding an industry within an industry that way. And the illusion is that the building goes further than what it is beyond the backdrop. Meanwhile, it's just going right into the other building on the other side. And Johnny from Johnny Quest Customs, he's going to be building me a small little facility from a lot of spare parts that we have left over from other structures and buildings and materials. So that's going to be a really cool feature on the layout that I really can't wait to start working on. I know they can't wait to start working on as well. As you can see, the passing track has been installed, as well as the yard ladder for Vine Street Yard, and the next step is to add feeder wires in between each switch to wire up the switches. Now, unlike the mainline switches, these switches are going to be manually thrown. And something I have learned is that to leave space in between each switch, and that way, one, you have to worry about feeding the power right to the switches at the switch itself. That's sort of the mistake I made at the Emma Junction. And that way, you don't have to worry about adding feeders underneath the rail joiners, whereas I'd rather solder at the points all the way through that ladder and feeder at the individual tracks in between the switches. That way have a good flow of electricity going through the switches, and it'll actually look better, and it keeps the switches straight compared to some of the little kinks that I have on the crossovers over at the Emma side. Okay, moving to the Emma side, here we have the Allegheny secondary connection track that's been laid and wired. And right here we do have the feeders that go to the tracks here. This will go for the cassette that was from the original Penn-Reading Industrial Division switching layout. And so this facial piece will be removed, and I could connect 2 tracks, maybe 3 or 4 tracks. Maybe I'll add a switch on the cassette itself. I'm not sure yet, but at least for now we'll have 2 tracks to store 2 trains and staging to go on and off the layout from the Allegheny secondary. As you can see here, there's a little bit of a mess going on, and that's just extra track, spare track. Emma right now is just a storage space for all the extra pieces of track until I can finish the track work on the main lines and the branch line. And then we're going to go forward and start working on the Emma industrial section. Now the industrial section will not have any cork road bed. We're just going to go right to the foam itself. And so I have a couple of pieces here that still needs to be braced, so that's another thing I need to do. But other than that, after all that's done, then we're going to be wiring up the layout. I want to get all the track work done before I start wiring up the layout, just to see what I have. I'm waiting on wire, as well as a few other technical electronic stuff, I guess you call it. And I need to do a little more research on the NCE system, so I know how I could properly wire the crossovers, as well as add all of these awesome Walthers switch machines. So on the Durbin Grove side, I just finished making the curve for the branch line on this end. The next step is, well actually I already traced out outlined each side of the track of the curve on each side, because I'm going to start the taping for the elevated curves just like I did with the main lines. And I already got marked to where I'm going to be cutting this foam out so we can create a nice trestle scene and tunnel scene. Something shows the Alleghenies and the mountains. The next thing will be, of course, adding more trees to this backdrop, and then building up the foam around this curve rather, and creating the mountain to separate each side of the layout to have an individual scene rather. And so yeah, that's pretty much it for this side here. And yeah, it's pretty bare right now compared to the rest of the layout. So that wraps up this quick update on the layout. I appreciate everybody's support and encouragement on YouTube, as well as Facebook and Instagram as well. It's a really awesome journey here, and I really am getting excited and obviously encouraged. The more and more progress I make, the more I want to work on the layout when I have time. The videos that I really want to do, it's just not feasible at the moment, just because work has been very, very busy. So at least I could get some quick updates out here for you guys. This is what I can do for now. I plan on doing really, really nice videos with scenery and trains running in the near future. As far as how-tos, there are so many how-to videos on track work that are better than mine, and I'm learning from those guys who have those fantastic how-tos, and you guys know who they are. And so I'm not going to give so much how-tos on track work and wiring. I could show you what I have accomplished and what works for me throughout this journey with this layout. But when it comes to like the scenery work, as well as some history on the Pennsylvania Railroad along with the Reading Railroad, we're going to get into that later on as the layout has more progress being done with the trains running. And there'll be a lot more operating videos, because I'm a huge operator as well. And so there's a lot of operations you can actually do on this layout besides running trains around the loop. So look forward to that as well. You can find me on Facebook on the Penn-Reading Industrial Division. I just started that Facebook page. A lot of people have been asking me, do I have a Facebook page? And I said no, and I said now I do. So that is something that I have added to the social media, as along with the YouTube. So if you enjoy what you're seeing here, enjoy the content and the progress of this layout, be sure to subscribe and support the channel, along with follow me on Facebook. So I'll be posting stuff on Facebook that you can link to YouTube and vice versa. Again, guys, thank you. This is Joe G with Touch of the Brush Model Weathering. That's my other channel, believe it or not. And here we got the Penn-Reading Industrial Division. And so, again, thank you, and you guys have a great week.